Good morning, everyone. This is Christina Osborne of the Property VA. We are going through our weekly masterclass. So very quick, we are now on week 4. We have so far covered mindset in week 1, systemization in week 2, business support in week 3, and today is very exciting. We're doing lead generation. So lead generation is a very specific and common business task, business task that is frequently outsourced to virtual assistants. Okay, this task is very repetitive, but it's considered low value because it's lots of data scraping and lots of repeat instructions that you carry out day in, day out. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover today. And let's begin. So we've got, let's just move that up for a bit. So here we are, strategies and templates, lead generation. We have some VAs in the room who's had experience doing lead generation for their clients. And we might have a sharing session at the end so that you can, those who are already doing some work for property investor clients in the UK doing some lead generation, you can share to the group what your work involves, like the actual work, because in a way what I'm going to cover is the strategies, but the theory. Okay, the actual work that you might do, I would love to hear that from some of the VAs in the room. Okay, but let's begin, strategies and templates. I do have to apologize that this is wrong spelling right there, but I can't change it now because that's what I shared to everyone in your own individual VA workspace. Where did it go? Okay, so lead generation for VAs 101. Tools and strategies. We will cover goals of lead generation activities for landlords and property investors, and then we'll dive into the strategies. I am unlikely to cover all of the strategies in my library, but at least we'll cover 1 or 2, and then I'll leave the homework with you to then submit your aptitude test. That gives me an idea of exactly what where the gaps in your knowledge are. Okay, that's gonna be like feedback for me later on. Okay, so goals of lead generation activities for landlords. Okay, take a note of these, guys, because it's good for you to understand why you're doing what you're doing and why property investors are giving the tasks that they're giving over to you. Okay, so they want to find motivated sellers, landlords, and properties. Who are the motivated sellers? These are homeowners, sometimes they're landlords, sometimes they are families who receives or who's inheriting properties that they're not interested in owning. Okay, so the property investor clients, these are the people that they want you to help them find. Okay, motivated sellers, motivated landlords, motivated properties, yes, although properties are not human beings and they're not motivated in themselves, but there are distressed properties out there that need to be sold. All right, and then goal or objective, category 2 is to find angel investors and financiers. Most property investors, the reason why they're in this business is they do want to get rich because they don't yet have or they haven't yet achieved the financial status that they want to achieve, or the financial freedom that they want to achieve. And so they don't have, almost always, they don't have their own money to fund all of the projects that they want to undertake. So they need to find property angel investors out there and people and private financiers to help them fund their projects. Okay. Third, they are also looking for landlords and other property investors to sell leads to. So I think from last week, it was week number 3, we talked about the various strategies that or business models that a property investor can undertake in property. And sometimes it's not about buying properties, but finding properties to sell to other landlords and other property investors. Okay. So another lead generation activity that you might be doing for your client is to find landlords and investors to sell property deals to. Okay. And then finally, your property investor clients may need you to find tenants and guests. What I'm going to concentrate on today would be finding the number 1 category, okay? To find motivated sellers, to find landlords, and to find properties. Goals 2, 3, and 4, these would depend on your respective property investor clients. So I'm not going to talk about strategies to find numbers 2, 3, and 4, only number 1, okay? Strategies. So I'm going to be covering the various strategies that property investors use to find these things that they're looking for, but especially the number 1 thing that they're looking for, okay, is to find properties. That's why they're called property investors. So what are these strategies? Your property investor clients may use property portals, they'll use adverts, they'll use social media, they'll use websites, and finally, they'll use direct marketing. You as a VA, a property VA, you will most likely fall under this one, okay, direct marketing. Why? For social media, they might hire a specialist to do Facebook ads, okay? And so that's not the kind of work that you're looking for. You may have social media skills, fantastic. They may utilize that, okay? Websites, they may, again, use specialist freelancers to look after SEO, to look after graphic design or website design and all that, okay? Adverts, these refer to local newspaper adverts. So they may utilize a VA to help with the coordination of submitting artwork to a local newspaper, to pay for invoices, to schedule advertisements and all that, okay? But it's not like a daily task that involves a VA to look after that. Now, property portals, this is if they want to do the work themselves. This is what you will be looking after as well. Okay, so most of the repetitive, low value, time consuming tasks will fall under number 5. Okay, and this is what I'll be covering. I'll go through each and every one of these strategies, but the bulk of today's session, I'll be covering direct marketing. Sometimes the investor clients, they call it DTV, okay, direct to vendor. That's what DTV stands for. Yeah, so most of the work that you will do as VAs will fall under direct marketing, okay? But let us go through these other strategies. So adverts, these are examples of newspaper adverts that your client may spend some money on. Okay, sell your house. This is more like what's that term? Like an advertorial. Parang advert siya, but like it's in a, it's like a whole kind of story. Okay, so sell your house in 7 days or cash. This is all the messaging of all these newspaper adverts. It's all about, we can buy your house quick, right? Who are they targeting? They're targeting homeowners who have financial reasons to sell quickly. Either they're going to be repossessed, they are tired landlords that don't want to look after tenanted properties anymore, or the house is in disrepair and they don't have the money to spend on repairing the property. Okay, so generally it's the aim of these adverts are not to look pretty, but to look urgent. Okay, you can sell your house quickly in 7 to 28 days. So that can be an example. And here's another advert. Okay, we will buy your house fast. Cash in 7 days, top price paid, same day offer, any property, any condition, get your cash offer today. So it's all about we can buy quickly, okay? And who they're targeting are highly motivated and distressed homeowners and home sellers. Again, some more examples. So your work here as a VA, if this was something that your client will outsource to you or will delegate to you, will most likely not, maybe to copy an advert, okay? And then put it on Canva or even a Word document. These are really not about being creative and graphic design and all that. It's all about just, you know, copy the same text, change 1 or 2 words, and then let's fit it in I don't know, 10 by 20 page advert. And then can you send it over to the newspaper? Ayan, so it's more like you are being used to coordinate the purchase of an advert of an ad space on the local newspaper. Okay, social media. Now, social media is very useful as well for finding properties. And your role as a virtual assistant may be to join lots of Facebook groups and to crawl through posts or be on the lookout for certain keywords that pop up in posts, and to either contact the postee directly or to comment on the posts to say that you're interested. It's not really you who's interested, but you are, you know, on behalf of your client, you're the one responding to these posts on Facebook, okay? So this is an example. Anyone looking for true no money left in BRR? Guys, what does BRR stand for again? Can you type it in the chat box? And then, yeah, so I'm gonna look out for the chat box, okay? BRR deal in Leicestershire. PP, that's purchase price, 215K, but this person has secured it for 190K. So this is what you call a BMV. So that's below market value. You guys, there's no answers yet. What does BRR mean? Can you please type it in the chat box? I think someone's just typed it in. Buy refer. Yes, thank you. Okay, so here we go. Refurb costs 60K. Once valued, once work is done, the house will value anywhere between 380 to 450K. All right. So someone is posting on Facebook a deal for anyone who wants to buy this property. Okay, anyone interested, drop me a PM. So this person, he's a property sourcer. Okay, so he sourced a deal. That's a very, very good deal. It's can be worth, I don't know, average 400,000. He secured it for 190. It does need some refurb work, 60K. So if you use the calculators on here, you can see that at the end of it all, you are still buying the property at a very good discount. Okay, let's use this later to go over the calculators actually, because I know that week 3 aptitude, some of you maybe have had difficulties in doing some calculations. So this will be a good exercise later on to do that. Okay, and some more examples of social media posts. So like these 8 comments there, that can be from buyers, but maybe one of them is from a VA saying, I'm interested, please can you contact me? Okay. Attention investors and deal sourcers, 4-bed HMO in Burnley around uni campus. So that means that's a student student accommodation. Okay, purchase price 85,000. Total project cost, including finance, is 118. So that's like the total capital cost, 361. With refinance able to pull 90,000 out, leaving 28,000 still in the deal, with a net income of 12,000 or so a year. The investor, with the 28,000 pounds left in the deal, he can still earn an ROI of 43 and so percent per annum. Okay. Not so exciting, I guess. Walang comment, dalawang likes. Ito 4 likes, 8 comments. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Some more social media examples. Hi everyone, we're thinking of selling our portfolio. Ang daming nag-comments, 30 comments. Siguro ang daming interested. 55 bedrooms over 6 properties. Ayan. So actually, he's just asking for advice. Okay? Are there any benefits selling whole or individually? Let me know your thoughts. So, hindi ko alam kung yung 30 comments na yan is 30 I'm interested in buying, or they're just, you know, giving advice to this person. Kasi naman yung question niya is, you know, is it better to sell whole or individually? But I'm sure many of those comments are interested to just buy the whole thing. So again, selling our portfolio. These are some example property groups out there on Facebook. Okay, so these are tired landlords we've got here. Any landlord with 1 or 2 HMOs thinking of selling up due to tax changes. I'm getting to the point, I think I've had enough. Let's just zoom in on that so you guys can see it. I've had enough. Again, ito, meron pa rin another tired landlord. I'm thinking of selling too, but mostly because of bad tenants. Okay. So do you think, guys, that these landlords who are motivated to sell, will they listen to someone who's got solutions for their problems? I'm going to answer for you. The answer is yes. Okay. I'm getting a little fed up. If I'm honest, to the point I'm thinking of selling. Okay. So these are all tired landlords. That's one way of finding property deals on social media. And the task that the investor will likely outsource to you or delegate to you as a VA is to just crawl through social media and find these people complaining. Okay. If they're complaining, they have a problem. If they have a problem, they'll be motivated. So yun. Next, we've got, are there more social media examples? Okay. Again, ayan, maraming complaints. I've decided I've had enough of all the hassle. I'm a disillusioned landlord. Okay. I'm getting out. He's not getting out without selling his properties, right? So if he wants out, he wants to sell his properties. What else? Social media ulit. Okay, so this one is another motivation. I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you think he's looking for by this person? He's posted on LinkedIn. Can you tell me what he's looking for? Okay. Who doesn't love before and after pics? One of our recent investment transformation, bringing it back to life. Happy agent, happy owner, and happy investor. The beauty of investing in property, it's a win-win situation for all. Let us know what you think about this transformation. Okay, so he's posted some of the work that he's done. He's transformed presumably a very ugly property. Now he's decorated it. He's done some refurb work. Okay. Actually, yung answer nandyan naman sa ano eh. Okay, so far, no, he's not looking for refurbishment. What is this person looking for? He's posted on Facebook that he's just finished a project, okay? Okay. Correct. So Angel says it's an angel investor. So this person is declaring to the whole world that he's a trustworthy person to invest in, that he can complete projects, that he was able to pay back the investor because the numbers worked, he's done the refurb. Okay, so that would be an example of some social media posts that your client will likely delegate to you as well. Other social media posts, let's read this. Wow, 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 who expected the market to be where it is today 4 months ago? Doesn't matter how good the market is, if you have a problem with your property, you're sick playing to a small market. So how can we help? We have extensive knowledge of the residential and commercial property market that allows us to offer sophisticated solutions. Book a consultation, free consultation below. Okay, now who are they looking for in this instance? Property problems, negative equity, structural or title issues, need a fast sale, tired of being a landlord, we can help. So, okay, guys, your answers in the chat box. Who do you think this postee, again on LinkedIn, who is he wanting to target with this message? Okay. Answers in the chat box. Let's have a look. Tired landlord. Yes, it is a tired landlord indeed. Okay. Some more social media. I'm just doing this quickly because this isn't the bulk of what I want to talk about today, but I do want to cover it. Okay. The refurb on our new unit is going well. I love the new feature wall. We are really looking forward to providing superb accommodation for our clients. So he's doing a service accommodation and a great return for our investors. All right. So guys, ano ulit? Who are they targeting here? Correct, a property investor or an angel investor, private financier. Okay. 15, sorry, page 15. Now we're moving into websites. So the websites, the messaging is more or less the same as the newspaper adverts. It's all about fast sale, sell your home fast, but like in the form of a prettier, with like pretty graphic designs, layout and all that, okay? Get a free quote, some more examples. Sell your house fast, quick buyer. So walang mga fancy name, business name, what's this? Selection, ganyan, quick buyers. Okay. Sell your house fast. So ganyan, the objective is to get straight to the point. The message is, you are in trouble, we can help you, we can buy your house, we can do it quickly. There. Some more website examples. We'll buy your house today. If you were a VA for this kind of property investor, maybe your role will be to help capture the leads that comes through, okay, from their websites. So generally, so these are all like lead magnets or lead capture. So type your name and all that. Tapos the website itself will have a means to notify you that the lead has come through. Then your job as a VA may be to then capture that lead and notify your client to make sure that your client responds to all. Okay. Or sometimes if your role has to do with sales, and maybe your client has set up a VoIP phone capability on your laptop, then maybe your role is to be the one to call the homeowner and be the initial contact. Okay, next one. Okay, so now we're getting into direct marketing, okay? There's a few direct marketing strategies out there, and one of them is to send landlord letters. Vlad, one of the VAs in the room, he was describing that what he does for his client right now is that he sends out letters to HMO landlords. So HMO stands for homes with multiple occupancy or houses with multiple occupancy. Okay, they are one of the most frequently marketed landlords, because HMOs are hard work. And so lots of landlords who have HMOs, they quickly get very tired in running their HMOs. Okay, so here we go. This is a person who's, I don't think she's the one asking the question. I think she's writing like a post on LinkedIn covering this topic. Okay, how often should I send my rent-to-rent landlord letters for HMOs? Okay, so I'm just putting it here as an example so you know what property investors out there are doing in terms of direct marketing. Okay, we've managed to filter down our list for landlord letters. We've sent to 250 landlords. Okay, before sending out your landlord campaign, make sure you've gone through your ideal property deal. Yeah, so looking for property deals. Okay, so these are just people sharing on Facebook that they've sent out landlord letters and so on and so forth. Okay, right, so those were some examples of marketing campaigns, lead generation activities that your property investor clients may delegate over to you as a VA. In terms of direct marketing, I'm going to cover more than just the landlord letters. I don't send out landlord letters because I feel like everyone else is sending out landlord letters. I feel that there are more strategies out there than just sending landlord letters. What I like to teach, well, my lead generation VAs and you guys in this masterclass, is a library of strategies. So each one of you will have had access to this, the PDF, but if you click on this, which is a synced block, you won't have access to that yet. How many of you have tried to click on this link on your own workspace? Okay. Well, probably you haven't yet, but if you do try, you won't have access to this. So I'm going to cover it for today. Okay. Just an overview. Let me just, don't know where to put these things. Okay. When will I invite you to this? When you go through the recruitment. Okay. Because, in a way, I'm protecting myself that I don't just willy-nilly invite people to have access to the library of the strategies that I've prepared and that I've, what's the term? Like I have fine-tuned, okay? So only those who I feel are worthy, and they're worthy if you go through the recruitment stage, will you have access to the library of strategies. These are the full instructions and templates as well. I have a column here just for quick guides. What you can do for this one, you'll have access to, okay? So guys, make note of this bit.ly link, TPVA guides. Where it will take you is a playlist. Although I'll cover most of it today anyway. How to find full address, quick guides on how to prepare campaigns on Stannp, quick guides on how to add admin users on Stannp, and then quick guides using Instant Data Scraper, which is an extension on Chrome. I'm not using Chrome, so I can't show the extension here today. I'm using Firefox. But if you use Chrome, you can use Instant Data Scraper. On some websites, it will work. Some websites, it won't work. But if it does work on the website you're data scraping, it will save you a whole lot of time, like anywhere between 30 minutes to like 2 hours of data scraping. Okay, so those are the quick guides. So take a note of this bit.ly link, bit.ly TPVA guides. Okay, so I'll leave that there for a few more seconds. All right. So what we're going to cover, as you can see, there's about 20 strategies here. We don't have time to go through all of the strategies. I'm likely going to cover maybe all of the BMV strategies, all right? And then C2R and HMO strategies, you can have access to that when you go through the recruitment drive. Let's just come back, get out of here for a second. There's another thing that I want to cover. Okay, before I actually go through the strategies and the instructions on how to carry out some of the lead generation strategies, I want to cover this data scraping, and later on after the strategies, we'll cover the creating a direct-to-vendor campaign on Stannp. Okay, it has a double N, but it's not meant to be pronounced as Stannp, but Stannp. Parang it's just an arte way of writing the word stamp. Okay, right. So when you guys have access to this, let me just go here. I will look at exactly what your workspace will look like. Okay, so I think it's good to look at it from your perspective. All right, so Crizel is in the room, I believe. We will look at lead generation, okay, strategies and templates. So what you will see is on Crizel's page is exactly the same as what you will see on your own page, okay? So again, if you click on here, if I click on that, of course, I'll see it because I'm still logged in as mine, but Crizel and everyone else, when they click on this, they won't be able to access that, okay? Okay, so what you have here are 4 sections, the lead generation strategies. We've covered some of the basic, not basic, some of the other categories for lead generation. But what I really want to teach you today is the DTV, direct to vendor lead generation strategies. We have here data scraping. That's what I'm going to cover next. And then how to prepare DTV campaigns on Stannp. And then we'll just go over your aptitude test. Okay. So in terms of the data scraping sheet, let's just open that. It is open office. You should be able to open it from any other program or software that you use. Okay. So this data scraping sheet is, for me, very crucial to have, because when you do data scraping, before you prepare the actual mailing list, you need a repository of all the addresses that you are data scraping for your client. Okay? So, kumbaga, ito yung step 1 muna. Nandito yung raw data that you are data scraping from the websites, depending on which strategies you're using. Okay, so you can type in here the date of data scraping, the right move link, or Zoopla, whichever platform you're using, the full address, some pics of the listing. What else is here? Asking price. This one, you don't have to use this column per se, but I do like to put it in there so that your client has proof that you have identified the correct house number. Okay, so whatever method you use to identify the correct house number, then you take a screenshot and then you put it on here. This is not a requirement, but it's, you know, if you wanted your client to have a quick way of checking the full address that you data scrape from whatever platform that you use, then this column could be quite useful. Okay, then what the asking price is, number of bedrooms, So kumbaga, you are using this data scraping sheet as a repository of the raw information, the raw file that you have captured when you are doing the lead generation activity. This isn't yet the file that your client will or that yourself will use for preparing the campaigns on Stannp. Okay, your client may want to look at this and say, I don't want to campaign to this property. Let's delete that. Yes, let's campaign to all of the rest. Or they might say any row that I marked as red. Okay, don't campaign to that. Okay, so later on, when you prepare the mailing list for the DTV campaigns, then you have the selection of the addresses that your client has given you permission to campaign to. Okay, so that's why you need the raw list first before you prepare the final mailing list for your clients. So I want to get that out of the way, okay? We are not data scraping in order to prepare a mailing list straight away. Okay, so that is the next step after you data scrape. So I just want to repeat that. Raw list first, get your client to look at your list. After they've seen the raw list, they might comment however way they want to comment. They might do a strike through. They might, somebody strike through dito. I don't know. They might do a strike through. They might delete the row themselves. They might highlight it for a no or a yes. Only after they've gone through your raw list can you then prepare your actual campaign list for the direct to vendor marketing campaigns. Okay, so I hope that's clear, guys. So you guys will have access to this data scraping sheet. It's a blank sheet. That is my suggestion. If you want to create your own, feel free, but it's there for you to utilize. Okay. So I'll just jump around a bit. I'll go to the aptitude test. I am not going to cover unsold listings today, okay? Because I want you guys to, what's the term? Because I cannot cover all of the lead generation strategies on here, I want to see that without me talking about this particular data scraping strategy, if you can follow the instructions. This will be clear shortly as soon as I go here. Okay, so unsold listings, it's down here. You will not have access to this. All right. So I'm going to show the instructions to you today. Where did it go? Every single strategy will have instructions. I want to see, without me doing it live on a master class, if you can follow these instructions, because of the fact that I cannot cover everything today, nor at any time, that if I have included a step-by-step instructions, if you guys will be able to complete the strategy anyway, all right? But I will cover some strategies today. But for the aptitude test, unsold strategy, I'm not gonna cover it because I want to see if you guys can follow instructions, even if I did not touch base on it or do an example live here on the masterclass. Right. So having covered that, let us anyway do one of the other lead generation strategies. Okay. Let's close this. So as an overview, to do a lead generation, data scraping, direct to vendor activity for or task for your clients, we can categorize it into 3 classes of properties that we're looking for. The first category is what I call BMV. The second is C2R. I'll discuss each and every one. And then the third would be HMOs, okay? BMV stands for below market value. So all of the strategies down here under the BMV lead generation strategies, they are for finding properties where your property investor clients can get them at a discount. That's what BMV stands for. So when someone says it's below market value, the understanding and the expectation is that you can find them at a discount. It's not at a discount if it's above market value, okay? And what this means is your clients will want to utilize any of these strategies because it could help them find properties that has a fantastic discount in there, right? That your property investor clients can buy it at a discount. It's not a guarantee, but it's at least a strategy that you can utilize for better chances of finding property deals at a discount. There are more strategies out there for sure, but the ones that I like to teach my VAs to know about, and for the most part for property investors, it's the selection is a good enough selection of strategies for finding BMV property deals. So we've got here general, non-specific, I'll cover that. Sold subject to contract, I'll also cover that. BMV, if we have time, I will cover that. I'm not going to cover unsold listings. Again, I'll repeat the explanation. It's because I want to make sure that even without my guidance, that you can follow instructions, because I will not be able to cover. If I had to, it will take me months to cover this, and I don't want you guys to wait months before I'll invite you to the recruitment drive. So having just a clear instruction sheet. So this is the strategy, instructions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you can follow that, and I'll know if you can follow it because you'll have answered the aptitude test. If you guys can do that, that for me is an indication that you should be able to carry out these other 2 groups of strategies. They're slightly more complicated, but with step-by-step instructions, you should be able to carry it out anyway, okay? So that is BMV. That's a category for finding property deals for your clients, okay? And those deals are called BMV because they are discounted. They are below market value. What are the other kinds of property deals that you can find for your client? We've got here 2 more categories, C2R and development strategies, and then HMO, rent-to-rent, PLO. Okay, C2R stands for commercial to residential. So these are property strategies where there's a lot more renovation, construction, refurbishment work that will be carried out, more than just for the BMV deal. Yes, you change the carpet, you change the bathroom, I don't know, you change the doors, or maybe do up the garden. Okay, so it's still refurbishment work required, but most likely just a light or a minimum refurbishment. Whereas for C2R and development property deals, you are looking at a more extensive development work. Maybe an extension is needed. Maybe a second floor is needed. In terms of C2R, generally you're looking at a commercial unit. That could be an office, that can be a shop, that can be an entire building, okay? That will need to be converted before it can be a residential property. So that's the short term for it, C2R. So if your client's own investment strategy is to undertake C2R developments, then you guys understand what C2R means. C2R means commercial to residential. So these are the lead generation strategies for this investment strategy, okay? So for the BMV investment strategy, these are the lead generation strategies that you use. A lot of this, okay, so let's just click on that. Again, each one will have, where is the instructions? I don't seem to have uploaded the instructions yet. So each one of these will have instructions similar to this, wherein I state what step one is all the way to the final step that you need to undertake. And so my hope is that without me covering it today, that you guys should be able to do it just by referring to the instructions that I will upload. All right. So for those who just joined in the room, I think there's a couple of you. I was just explaining that what I will cover today is only some of the lead generation strategies here. Your aptitude test, I will specifically not cover it because I want to make sure that even without me covering that strategy, just by you guys looking at the instructions, and I'm going to open this again for everyone else to see, that you can still carry out the lead generation, the data scraping activity without me covering it, okay? I know I keep repeating myself. I just want to make sure that I'm clear about what I want to happen, okay? Right, so guys, we've covered now 2 different types of investment strategy and the lead generation strategies that help your client find those properties, okay, that match their investment strategy. So there's a distinction here as well, all right? So there's the investment strategy and there's the lead generation strategies that support the investment strategy. Claro ba yan? Okay, so your client may want to find discounted properties. So that's his investment strategy or her, that's his or her investment strategy. Ngayon, what you do as a VA is that you utilize from my library of lead generation strategies, you utilize any of these strategies to help your client find the property that he's looking for in the investment strategy that he has selected to undertake. All right. So that's BMV, that's discounted properties. We've got here C2R, that's properties where the value is in after the development work, okay? Whereas for the below market value, the value is in buying at a discount. It's in the purchasing of the property. Whereas in the development strategies, is in the adding value to the property. These are all the investment strategies that that you can utilize for helping your client to find C2R and development property deals. The final category is what I like to call the patong strategy. You are, I think I explained in last week's session, HMOs, rent-to-rents, PLOs, also R2SA in here. They are strategies where you multiply the income that the investor receives. That's why I call it the patong strategy. You are renting it for, let's say, 500 pounds a month, but your investor client can earn, I don't know, let's say 2,000 pounds a month instead. So he has to pay back the 500 pounds. The rest after expenses is his profit. Okay, that's the patong there. How do you find these types of property deals? These are the strategies that are in my library. Okay. In the future, might there be more strategies that nobody has thought of yet as of today? Yes, for sure. Okay, when that time comes, then I can update my library of strategies and then create a new card for that. Okay, and I'll call that new strategy. But for the time being, these are what's in my library. I'm just gonna delete that for a second. Okay. Any questions so far on this one? Because I want to make sure that I go through this slowly because this is really important. By the time I invite you guys to go through the recruitment, I want to make sure that you have, if not a complete understanding, at least a basic understanding of what you're doing for your client, okay? Because my clients will pay me to help them find a trained property VA. And that's why I will only invite you guys to the recruitment drive if you have passed what I feel would be you being prepared to work for a property investor client. So generally, I'll do the Q&A at the end of the session, but just for this, I want to make sure that I cover here. Okay. Any questions so far? Yes or no? And maybe I'll give it a minute before I move on. Because what I will do next is I will cover these lead generation strategies, except for the unsold listing. Okay. We have about an hour to go. All right. So no questions. Let's go dive deep. We've got here general. For the general, there is, I know it's under BMV, but it's actually a no specific strategy kind of strategy, okay? That is to say, you're not identifying a motivation for which the homeowner will want to sell at a discount. You are just casting the net wide, a very, very cold lead generation strategy to see what you can, what's going to bite. Okay, you're fishing, you're casting the net. What are you actually going to pull in, and you know, who's going to buy it? Okay, so it's general cold canvassing and no identified motivation. So this is a short description of the strategy. The objective is to send out cold campaigns for general prospecting. Suitability of this strategy is without knowing the motivation for finding, the motivation for selling at a discount, then the suitability is if your client has a very specific address to campaign to. So then your client doesn't really need to know what the motivation is for sending out the campaign. Your client simply knows that he wants to campaign. Sometimes it's super specific. Sometimes it's one address. Okay, I want you, VA, to campaign to this one singular address. Send them a letter, send them a postcode, because I want to get in touch with this homeowner. I want to buy his property or her property. Okay. Or your property investor client knows that he would like to invest in a specific street. So let's say St. John Street in Edinburgh. That's, you know, that's the only addresses that I want to campaign to. So he doesn't need to know why any of these homeowners might want to sell. He just wants to send letters to all of the addresses in that street. So this is the suitability of this campaign. Depending on your client's marketing budget, he might say an entire neighborhood, an entire postcode, or just specific streets, because he wants to limit and control the marketing budget. Okay. Again, so this is the suitability for this kind of campaign. How do you send those letters? You can send leaflets, you can send letters, you can send postcards. Your property investor client might even want to send handwritten letters, okay? But of course, he's not going to do that in this instance because he's hiring you as a VA to do it for him. Okay, let's take a look at these examples. You will find that they look a lot like, you know, those newspaper adverts, right? So we might have something like this. Okay, need to sell your house. You might think, oh my God, why are they using that kind of like graphic design? Ano ba yan? Pangit. This is what we call, I think the term for this is ugly marketing or something like that. Okay, because the point is not to look pretty. The point is that someone will pay attention to what you're writing there. Okay, so we are looking to buy in this street again. So, you know, the suitability of this campaign is if your client wants or has identified a specific address. Okay? If you have a house to sell or you rent long-term, etc., etc. So that's your client's name and contact number. So these are examples. Your client might say, okay, can you retype this on Canva and just change the name and my phone number? That might be the task that your client is going to ask you to do. Okay. We buy houses for cash. Sell your house now. We buy as is, pay cash. Call. Again, your client might say, can you just copy this and, just change the phone number. Some more examples. Oh, what's happened here? Was that the postcard? Sige na nga, let's download. Okay. Or sometimes it might be a letter. So ito is a little bit more formal. Hi, I don't know. Sometimes your client might pay for information from the land registry so that they know exactly who owns the house. And this might be useful if it's like a singular house that your client has driven through while scoping the area and going, oh, I really like that house. Okay, so have a notebook, they write it down or they take a picture, and then it says, okay, that's number 11, so and so street. And then they go back home and then they pay for the information to know who owns that property, because that's not free. And then they'll have the information and then they'll tell you, hey, VA, can you please send a letter to this person from this address, and this is the letter template that I want you to use. Okay. So, hi, owner. My name is your client. Myself and my partner are property buyers who invest in your area. We are looking to purchase empty homes and bring them back onto the housing market. We notice that your property, target address and postcode may be empty, and we are interested in having a conversation, see if you consider selling, etc., etc. So it's a little more formal, and there's more detail as to why your client is contacting this homeowner. Compare that with this one's a bit more generic. Okay, so it's your client who will give you the instructions on which one to use. Some of the clients you may work for will have no idea that there are strategies that you can utilize. So can you imagine the value you're adding to your client if you go, oh, client, did you say that you're looking for properties? I actually know, and you tell your client, I actually know several strategies to help you find property deals. Shall we see which of these strategies from the library we can utilize in order to help you find those strategies? And if you're a VA that finds work through me, yes, you will have access to all of these strategies, okay? So yeah, believe me, there are clients out there who will not have known these strategies. Like they just want VAs to know what they're doing, and there's not enough. I don't think even that there's anyone else who's doing this training like I do. I think there's maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple, but anyway, it's definitely not for free anyway. So here we go. So that's one strategy. Okay, so this is the general non-specific strategy. I think there's another letter template. That's not really a letter template. Okay, let's have a look at this. It's not loading properly. I don't know if it's because I'm using Open Office. Let's see if we upload that to Google. Okay, yeah, it's just my program. Okay, again, I guess it's a postcard, but there's more detail than like where's this, like a leaflet or, like a printout. Okay, we want to buy your property. So I think these are examples of the backside of the postcard. So not necessarily like this is the front and this is the back. Or could it? It could be. Anyway, so this one is a postcard example, while these ones are leaflets, leaflet, and then the other one was a letter example. This one. Okay. So yeah, so that's general, non-specific. Let's go back to the main library. So this one does not involve data scraping. It just involves you changing a few words on Canva or on whatever desktop program you use. Okay, so these other strategies will involve data scraping, and that's what we can look at right now. So let's look at open a new tab, sold subject to contract. I will not go to BMV keywords because that's a little bit like unsold listings. So I don't want to cover that. Tradesperson tax campaign and probate campaign. I think let's do that. Okay, so these are the three strategies I'm going to cover today. So we have sold subject to contract. So here's the short description of the strategy. This is important that you have a short description because, like I described earlier, sometimes your client may not be aware of some of these strategies from the library. So you should be able to explain it to them, okay? And to make sure that you explain it properly, you can just verbatim say it, or you can just, if you have, if you're gonna use Notion, you can just at your client, at client, this is the strategy that I'm proposing to you, right? And let them read the short description. So I've done the hard work for you now, guys. All right. So what is this strategy? SSTC, okay? SSTC stands for sold subject to contract. In the UK, the house buying process is in stages wherein if it's not yet completed, okay, if the title hasn't exchanged hands from one solicitor to another or one lawyer to another, it means that at any time someone else can come in, make a higher offer, or someone can pull out from any of the point in the transaction until the contract's exchanged. Okay, so until it exchanged, anything can happen. So sometimes you have properties that are listed as sold subject to contract, and it's not a very ethical practice, but depending on the market, it can certainly happen. In about 2007, 2008, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm assuming you were alive then. 2008, as you know, there was a crash in the property market, and that was like a worldwide thing that happened, almost worldwide anyway. Okay, and what frequently happened in that crash, because the market is in favor of the buyer, not the seller, the market is in favor of the buyer, what they would do, again, it's very unethical, I do not recommend that you do this, was that they will agree on a price. Yes, I'll buy your property for 100,000. And the seller is like, great, you know, I want to sell this property. I just want quits. I want out of it. I'm in debt. I'm whatever. I need to move, or I'm going through a divorce. Let's just go through this. Agree, shake hands, 100,000. And then maybe a couple of weeks before exchange of contracts, the buyer will go to the vendor and say, actually, I just want to buy it for 90,000. Okay, maybe they have a reason for it. Maybe they weren't approved the mortgage for the 100,000 purchase price. Maybe the market did change and it did go down, and to protect himself or herself, the buyer will go, no, I actually only want to pay 90,000 for it because I think 100,000 is paying too much for the property. or that property prices are still going down. Therefore, to protect myself, I want to ask for a discount today. Okay, so that's an example of what can happen for sold subject to contract. That is to say, something can happen anytime up to the point of the exchange of contracts. People can pull out, mortgages can't be approved, situations change, whatever happens. If you are the vendor at this point wherein you've already agreed to sell to someone at this price, you've possibly paid for your solicitor's fees and all that, and or you've paid the solicitor fees for the new house that you're buying because you're selling this one, then you are left in a situation wherein you'll be super highly motivated to sell, okay, to sell at a discount, that is. Okay. So this strategy involves data scraping, property listings marked as sold STC. I'll show you a concrete example of that on Rightmove. Okay. The rationale behind this strategy is that a portion of sales falls through and properties marked as sold subject to contract doesn't actually push through, and so it needs to be relisted. Let's go on Rightmove. Let's see what sold subject to contract looks like. I don't want to go to Yarmouth. Let's go to Real. Okay. This is the step, the important step. Include under offer and sold subject to contract. Find properties. So I didn't bother putting in any other property filters because I just want to show you what sold subject to contract looks like. There. So when it's marked as sold subject to contract, this strategy involves you data scraping everything that's marked sold subject to contract. So this will be data scraped, that will be data scraped, etc. Oh wait, is this sold subject to contract? Nope, don't data scrape this one. This will be data scraped, sold subject to contract. You guys get the idea, okay? So again, the motivation here is that we want to contact these homeowners for in case the sale falls through and they have to relist the market. That may happen not today, but in a month's time or in 3 months' time. So for your property investor client, the direct to vendor campaign involves writing a letter to these homeowners and to let them know that if anything does happen, that they can contact your client, okay? And that they will be ready to solve their problem. And what is, guys, okay, in the chat box, what is their problem by the time they contact your client? What do you think has happened? Okay, so in the chat box, if the homeowner responds to your client's letters, what do you think has happened to them? Okay, using this strategy, what do you think has happened to their house sale? That's right, it's fallen through. It's not continued, okay? It's been interrupted. Something happened, the buyers pulled out, or the buyer's mortgage provider says they no longer want to provide a mortgage for the buyer, even if they still want to buy the property, or something happened. Maybe a death has happened, you know, tragically. Those things can happen, okay? Suitability, this is for BMV. BMV stands for below market value. So yes, your clients may be able to find a discount from using this strategy. Sometimes you can also find a rent-to-rent deal for your client. Okay, it is not your problem to figure out what kind of exit strategy. Okay, so your role in this activity is to do the lead generation, is to do the data scraping, is to prepare the campaign, is to send out. Who actually gets to talk to the homeowner is not you, it's your property investor client, okay? So that's where your role ends and where their role starts, okay? it would be super helpful if I showed you what the letter looks like, because then you'll further understand the reason behind this strategy. There's two letters here. There's the first letter, so the initial contact, and there's the follow-up, okay? Let's look at the first letter. Dear home seller, congratulations on the sale of your house. They've marked it sold, subject to contract. Okay, so they feel that, yay, problem solved, but actually it's subject to contract. Hindi pa nag-exchange, okay? With all the great work that your local estate agent has been doing for you, I guess that now you've either exchanged on the sale of your house or it's due to happen in the next couple of days. So this is all about acknowledging that, in fact, it has been sold, but it's subject to contract, okay? I hope the sale goes through smoothly and everything works out as expected. However, if things aren't working out the way you'd like to with your house move, you're not really saying it like blatantly, you know, if it doesn't happen, you're just saying it a little bit more politely. Please give us a call as I would be very interested in buying your house. I'm a cash buyer and we can have everything sewn up in the next fortnight. All the best in your move to your new home. Regards, client details, okay? At the bottom of this letter, just for being ICO compliant, I put an option here for the homeowner to be removed from your database, okay? Please do not ring the number above. They cannot process your request. Or whatever message your client wants to put here, okay? Maybe your client wants them to ring the number anyway, okay? So here, I'm a cash buyer. So does this letter give more clarity as to the motivation behind the, what do you call this? The strategy. So you're finding the motivation, you're finding the pain, and that your client will address in the letter, okay? So this is the follow-up. Remember, this sold subject to contract, especially now. Okay, guys, we made an offer on a property in October because we're moving house. It's February, hindi pa rin natapos, okay? We are ethical buyers. We're not going to go back to the seller and say, can we ask for a discount? Diba? Kasi it might backfire, okay? And we don't want that to happen. But sometimes, you know, these things do happen. But anyway, especially now, the pandemic, normally a house purchase will take, I don't know, 2 months, 2 months max, okay? Right now, 6 months would be average, right? Okay, so these guys, they might receive your letter, not yours, but your client's letter in, let's say, this one would be dated February 2022. In March, you send out a follow-up letter because, yeah, they might be like all happy and positive in February that the sale is going through as planned. But you might want to send a letter out in March and then again in April and then again, because it takes about 6 months now, okay? Then again in June, by the time July comes and nothing's happened yet, you know, there might be a deal at that point for your client. So, dear home seller, I recently contacted you regarding the sale of your house. I'm guessing by now, inuulit mo lang, you have either exchanged or it's due to happen in the next couple of days. I hope it went through as expected. If it didn't, then so and so. So you just repeated the same message, but the only difference is you mentioned that you have already contacted them before. Again, always at the bottom, give them the ability to opt out of the marketing because this is marketing. Although the marketing is not for them to buy something from you, it's still considered marketing because you're doing this for an enterprising activity, okay, a business activity. Okay, so that is sold subject to contract. the steps on how to do this. Here's the instructions. You won't have access to this for now. So this is one of the VA's workspaces. She won't have access to this. You guys won't have access to this. Not yet, okay? So subject to contract strategy. First, get the instructions from clients. What do I mean by instructions? I mean like the property filters. Where does your client want you to data scrape? Does he want to give you some filters as to minimum, maximum bedrooms, minimum, maximum price, etc. Okay. And then go on to the property listings itself. So you're going to right move, data scrape all the listings that are marked SSTC, or sometimes you might see under offer. Let's have a look at this. So sometimes it won't say sold subject to contract. Sometimes it will just say under offer. We may not find anything here today. But anyway, it will look similar to that, okay? Sold STC or under offer. Okay, let's go back to the instructions. And then ask the client to review. Again, that's what this is for. Your, wait, that's the wrong tab, this one. Okay. That you will transfer all of the data that you're scraping. You'll put it in here. So today is the 27th of Jan. This is the right move link. Let's, for example, let's use this. What is the full address? Okay, let's pretend that we've found the full address on this one. Let's say cottage. Okay, gosh, what's the postcode? Let's say this is the postcode. Okay, pick of listing. This is my suggestion only, okay, guys. If if you and your client both decide it's a bit cumbersome for you to keep posting a picture, then by all means ignore that step. I'm just showing you what I might do in this instance. Okay, proof of correct house number. Maybe it says here that it's Rose Cottage, or maybe you find it in the property sale information. Go to nearby house prices. Okay. For those who don't know how to find the full property address, you can watch week 3. I think, yeah, week 3, or also the bit.ly TPVA guides, one that I showed you as a screenshot earlier. That will take you to my playlist for quick guides, and then it says here find full address. Okay, let's go back to this. Asking price. What did we say it was? 325. Number of bedrooms. You can be as detailed as you want, or well, as your client wants. What is this date of dated? Okay, let's leave that blank. All right. So you populate this spreadsheet, you show it to your client for review. Okay, ask client for review. Client says yes, send to all. Or maybe your client says, oh, that's not the property I'm looking for. Can you delete that? Or whatever, okay? Afterwards, and only afterwards, will you prepare the correct DTV mailing campaigns on Stannp. I'll show you how to do that Stannp shortly, and then download PDF proof to show client. When approved, schedule the campaign. Okay. So from this data scraping sheet, page 2 is, or tab 2 is where the Stannp template is at. Also, you can find, and you will have access to this. Your Stannp template will be, let's go back here. Oh, never mind. Okay. Sorry, sometimes ang daming pages sa Notion that it's a bit hard to navigate sometimes. Okay, so where were we? Strategies and templates. Okay, you will have access to this, the data scraping spreadsheet, and you'll also have access to the Stannp template. Okay. What you won't have access to will be this one. So that's a sync block that syncs to another database I have here that you guys are not invited to it just yet. Okay. So that's sold subject to contract as a strategy. Okay. I'll cover another strategy. Let's go with probate campaign for now. Okay, short description of the strategy. It involves communicating with probate solicitors and asking them how you can help their clients. Okay, so their clients are the ones who have an estate that they've recently inherited with the disposing of assets from deceased estates. Okay. So this campaign involves sending letters to the solicitors, not to the families, not to the deceased estate. It's sending letters to the solicitors. Let's close that for now. Instructions on this one. The objective is to create an alliance with the solicitors where investors can help their clients sell off property quickly and with confidentiality. Okay. Suitability for this one is for motivated sellers. Motivated sellers present a variety of opportunities. Okay, sorry, suitability in terms of the investment strategy. This can be for BMV, for development, and also for rent-to-rent. I'll show you the letter template. Okay, so let's download. Okay, I'll open the letter template first before I go through the instructions. Okay, dear solicitor, we are local property buyers. We write of your following your prominent representation. I believe that there may be an opportunity to provide assistance. My business specializes in purchasing inherited properties. Okay. Our focus is on providing solutions. So you're creating an alliance with a solicitor, okay? Providing solutions. We've helped in many similar situations. Should you feel that your client may benefit from our service, I would be happy to discuss further at your convenience. And thank you. So your client's details. Okay, and then again, opt out from marketing. Okay, so that's what the letter looks like. The actual instructions Okay, you go to Law Society. So what you're data scraping here are the details of the solicitors. Okay, here's the instructions. Go to Law Society. I want to show you like the steps from coming from a blank, okay, instruction. Okay, Law Society, find the solicitor. Okay, what does the next step say? Select wills and probate. Wills and probate. Enter client's investment areas. Oxford, let's see. And search. It's as simple as this, guys. Okay, and then data scrape the solicitors to contact. Ask the client for review. Now, in this case, you're no longer going through the like the raw file. Okay, you can go direct and prepare it on Stannp because it's not like the client has listings to approve or like, you know, looking at property pictures or visiting the right move link. It's just directly who the solicitors are. Okay. So, but yes, please still ask your clients for review because they might say, oh, I've dealt with that solicitor before. I don't want to contact this person or whatever it is. Okay. So ask the client always to review the work that you're doing. When the client says yes, go ahead. Then you prepare the direct to vendor mailing campaign. Okay. So in this case, for example, we want to data scrape this address. Okay, let's click on that. Can we address it to somebody? Okay, remember we've got this letter. Okay, dear solicitor title, solicitor name. So we just do a little bit more searching to see who we can address this to. So we've got the address, but we don't know who to address it to. Okay, people. 8 solicitors at this office. Okay, we might address it to this person. Okay, company is what's her position? She is assistant solicitor, I guess, if there's such a thing. We don't need to put the title in there. Okay, what's the address? There's faster ways of doing this, guys, but I'm not going to get into that for now. Postcode. Wait a minute. Okay. Right, so let's say we're happy with that. Let's delete that. Okay. So that is the second strategy, probate campaign. Okay. So really what you're doing for your client with all of these libraries of strategies, let's go into that for a second. With all of these libraries, you are helping him or her create multiple funnels of sources of leads, okay, where they might be able to find a property deal, because it can be from a homeowner who's distressed because the sale has fallen through. It can be from someone who's received a leaflet through the door. It can be from a solicitor who's working with a family right now and they have some houses to sell. So any of these strategies, the idea is that you and your client utilize as many strategies as possible, as many as they can afford to send marketing letters to a month, because of course it's not free. It may only cost 60p plus VAT to send out letters, but if you multiply that by, let's say, 100 or 200 addresses, and then you multiply that with follow-up letters every month, it could still run to the hundreds for your clients, okay? They may have that kind of budget. They may have calculated that it's worth spending 250, 500 pounds a month on letters because they know that they, at the end of that, they will find a property deal. Then if it works for them, great, okay? But the idea of having this library is that you and your client have options in terms of what you can, what you can utilize, okay, to help your client find property deals. Okay, let's just close this for now. We will save this because this is what I'm going to use for the Stannp shortly, okay? So let's download this as a CSV file. It's super important. If you download it as an Excel file, Stannp won't recognize it. Okay, so I'm gonna call this exercise CSV. Okay, let's close that for now. The next strategy that I'm going to show you will not involve sending out letters or postcards or anything, okay? This will involve sending out a mass text campaign, like a bulk campaign, right? Let's go here. So short description of strategy. Text a tradesperson strategy involves sourcing property deals by offering tradespersons a sourcing fee or referral fee. Tradespersons are plumbers, electricians, decorators. These are people who have access to properties that may be distressed because it needs work, or access to landlords because they service landlords. They know if a landlord is distressed. They know if a landlord is selling up. And so you are, in a way, you are dangling a carrot in front of the tradesperson to say, hey, if you can help us find property deals, we will pay you a fee, okay? And that, so the motivation here is like the carrot and not the pain or the stick, okay? Instructions on how to do the strategies, we'll cover that in a second. The objective is to leverage a local tradesperson who have knowledge about homeowners and landlords' financial and or personal situations. That is to say, they know when someone is motivated, okay? Suitability of this strategy, variety of opportunities. It can help your property investor client to find BMV deals, to find development deals, and to find rent-to-rent deals as well. This is the template that we're gonna utilize. Okay. So local tradesperson, text campaign. So instructions from client, mainly what area or city, all right? Also, you might want to find out from your client who are the tradespeople that you can campaign to, okay? So, but mainly just the area and the city. What do we do next? We go to trustatrader.com. Next instruction says enter the trade, then the local area. So let's say plumber, and then let's say the area is so these are all the tradespersons, the plumbers in Bidford. And we data scrape not the telephone number, but the mobile number. Okay. This would be perfect for instant data scraper. I'll show you what instant data scraper looks like. So I'm going to open Chrome because this won't work in Firefox. All right. So instant data scraper looks like this. It's an extension. You do have to install it into your Chrome browser. But once you have it, and then let's say I'm going to download the CSV file. This is what it's going to look like. That's odd. Okay, parang it didn't data scrape anything. Wait, can we do that again? Try another table. What happened? Okay, so guys, the instant data scraper doesn't always work for all websites. For some reason, it can't find the information. Okay, download data. Let's see if this is. Let's have a look at this. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so they might have changed already. I mean, okay, so it's not that difficult because you're just data scraping the mobile numbers, okay? Let's see if we do it like this. Okay, somewhat. All right, it's there, but you'll just have to do some extra work to clean up this sheet so that you only have the company name and the mobile number. So that's for this step, okay? Data scrape the mobile numbers. In the UK, mobile numbers start with 07. You will know anyway because it's, oops, sorry, because it says mobile number. What happened? Parang, okay. There, it says mobile number. So you know not to data scrape the telephone number because you can't send a text there. But if you data scrape the mobile number, which starts with an 07 number, then you should be able to send a text. Now, how do you actually do it remotely? You don't have a UK number. So how will you do it for your client? Your client needs to set up an account with Text Magic. That is my example. If your client wants to use a different platform or service to send out bulk campaigns, then it's up to your client to do it, okay? I am not gonna do it live here today. I just want to show you that you need to sign up with Text Magic, and it's pretty straightforward on how to do it. You can also contact them. There's video tutorials. So I just want to show you where the video tutorial is, because what the video tutorial will show is what I'm going to cover anyway. So I'm not going to waste time on that because we've only got 20 minutes left. All right, so guys, that was me going over the categories for lead generation, okay, as well as covering some of the actual strategies down here. Your aptitude test will ask you to do the unsold listing, which I specifically and intentionally did not cover today because I want to see if you can carry out the instructions or the strategy just by reading the instruction. So you don't have access to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the screen open for a few minutes, maybe less than, for you to take a screenshot. Okay, so take a screenshot of this. For those who are watching the replay, take a screenshot as well. All right. This is the unsold strategy. And I want to see if you can carry out the aptitude test just by doing it step by step. Okay. So I'll leave it for 5 more seconds, take a screenshot, save it onto your computer, and then go back to your workspace on Notion, go to the aptitude test section, and please carry out the strategy. All right, all done. You can just pause and do the replay again. Right, so let's go back to this. So what I've covered so far is the general, the sold subject to contract, the tradesperson, and the probate campaign. If you can carry out the unsold listing strategy without me covering it, then you can cover or you can carry out any of the other strategies just by looking at the instructions, okay? Who gets access to the instructions? If you're invited to the recruitment drive, if you get hired by my clients, then you will have access to this because the client is paying me for you to have access to this library, okay? For those of you who want to watch the basic guides, again, this is the bit.ly link, TPVA guides. Okay, that's another YouTube playlist that you have access to, okay? Just take a screenshot of that as well. TPVA guides. Where will that take you? It will take you to this. And what's the content of this playlist? It's just basic guides on how to find the full address, Stannp, how to create campaigns on Stannp, how to add admin users on Stannp, and then quick guides, instant data scraper. I showed you very briefly on how to do that. It was not a very successful attempt because the website didn't work, but you should be able to use instant data scraper for many data scraping exercises in doing your work as a VA. Okay, so let's close this for now. In the remaining time that we have, what I want to cover next is how to do, oh wait, where was I? All right, okay guys, sorry, just 1 second. How to prepare campaigns on Stannp, okay? Okay, so we've covered lead generation strategies. We've covered data scraping. Now I want to cover creating campaigns on Stannp. Okay, first of all, okay, you guys will have access to this. Do download this template. What will that template look like? It will look similar to, what was that campaign that we, all right, let us download this anyway. Okay, so it's downloaded. Mock letterhead. Okay, because you will need a letterhead from your respective clients. And then you will need to create a mailing list by using the Stannp template. Okay, what does the Stannp template look like? it looks like this. We've already prepared one earlier. We called it exercise, didn't we? Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, so we've actually got one person to campaign to, so I'll use her in the exercise that we're going to do next. Okay, let's just close all of this for now. Right. Ooh, okay, la 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 la. Here we go. Go to Stannp. Oh, here it is. Okay. Nakalimutan ko na yung password ko. Guys, wait lang ha. I'm going to pause the recording for now. Okay, so when you sign up for Stannp, this is what your dashboard will look like. What do you need to get ready? You need to get your mailing list ready, your letter template, as well as your client's letterhead. Okay, so what we can do, here we've got the designs. We'll create a new design. Okay. And blank canvas should be fine. We will first upload the letterhead. So we've got the letterhead, didn't we? Okay, simple letterhead. Okay. This is just a mock letterhead. So Property Investor Limited, contact us 0123456789 and you've got here pretty much like a blank space. Okay, we know that we are contacting, in this case, because we're contacting where is that? A solicitor, then the strategy was using the probate campaign. So we need the probate letter. And all we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this. Copy. Back onto Stannp, there's add a text block. So Stannp is a little bit like using a Word, MS Word or Microsoft Word, but not so user-friendly. Okay, it's a little bit clunky, it's a little bit cumbersome, but we use what we need to use here. Okay, so that's how you insert a text block. So we need to drag the text block down here. Kind of need to adjust it. Again, it's a bit like Word, but just a little bit clunkier. And paste. Okay, we have to delete this. I'll show you how to enter dynamic fields. Okay, so my name is VA client, VA investor. Okay, you may even decide to change this in, I don't know, where was that? Oxford. All right, and then etc., your client's details. So name, surname, tel number. Okay, and then you can change the font size, but I think if you change this block, all of it will change, I think. Yeah, so we don't want to do that. Go back here. So what we might need to do is copy and paste just that section so we can change the font size on that one. Okay. X. Insert a new block. And then this time we'll just make it like 6 maybe. Can you change the font style? Yes, you can. Can you change colors and all that? Yes, you can. Okay, so if we want to change, well, maybe we want it to look slightly more formal or what, so you can change that. You can also change the alignment. You can change the line height, especially if you want to pack a little bit more text. Okay, so this is the line spacing, okay, or back to maybe there. All right. Okay, if you make a mistake, can you change it? This you can delete it as well. What else can you do? You can add an image. Let's say your client has his signature, he scanned it. Can you add it here? Yes, you can. Okay, I don't have a scanned signature, so I can't do it, but to insert it, it's here. Add image. Okay. What do we need to do next? Let's just double check that. Let's say we're happy with this. We then need to save this, okay? Exercise probate letter. So I'm going to save that as a new template. Once I've done that, so that's creating the letter itself, then I want to prepare the campaign. So I'm going to click on send campaign and then bulk campaign. I'm going to create a new campaign down here. Yes, I think you can see from my screen, you can also send out postcards. Create a new campaign. We're sending out a letter, so I'm going to select letter. And I'm going to name this campaign January Oxford Probate. You name it however you want to name it. I suggest you name it, you give the pertinent details, when the campaign was sent out, what area, and what strategy. Okay, those would be my 3 key pieces of information that I recommend you put in the campaign name. Okay, so that you know that this campaign was sent in January, that the area that you sent it to was in Oxford, and that this was for a probate strategy. And then we will create the campaign. Okay, so we've already created a letter template, but if you haven't, you can do the step here as well. Okay, so either you prepare it in advance or you prepare it when you're preparing the campaign. So I already have a template for that. So I'm going to use this template. So instead of creating one from scratch, I'm going to go to the templates that I've already prepared. This is the one that we prepared just now. I'm going to use this template. Happy with it. Maybe I'll, let's see. Oh, wait, I forgot to show you how to put dynamic fields. So I'm going to do that now. So that's great. Right, dear. This is what we do. Insert data variables. So you've got title. And if your title doesn't have dots and commas and things like that, so then you put it here. But I think I did put dots and commas there. And then just last name, comma, okay. If there's other dynamic information that you have in your mailing list, let's say for HMO landlords, you've got the licensee holder who lives at address A, but his property is in address B, then you add it here as well, okay? Let's say, for example, we say here, regarding property at, okay, whatever the property address is, it can be here, project address, reference address, okay? We will see what it looks, we actually don't have a reference address, but we'll see what that looks like in the preview later on, just so you know what it looks like, okay? Right, so we've got the letter, it's ready, it's prepared, we'll save and finish. Okay, now it's asking us, who would you like to send it to? So we are going to go to upload new recipients. If you've already uploaded the recipients, and you might find it here, select data group. In this instance, we haven't uploaded it yet, so we're going to upload it at this stage. Okay, so we click on upload new recipients, click on this. Right, we said it was exercise. So we've got Miss, first name, last name, company, address 1, city, county, country, and then postcode. If you did it incorrectly, it will warn you if Stannp can identify where you put things incorrectly, okay? Like, let's say you forgot to put postcode, then it will say, hey, you're missing a postcode. Are you sure you want to upload this list? Okay, so let's say we're happy with that, right? We're gonna do import data. And then we're gonna click on select. One address selected. Yes, we're happy with that. And then this is what the letter will look like. Okay, I think depending on your browser, you might see a preview here. On my Chromebook, I can see a preview. On my Windows laptop, I can't. So it did automatically download the preview anyway. On my Chromebook, it doesn't do that. So here we go. We've got our recipient. These QR codes are what the postman will blip to know that the postage has been paid. Okay, and as you can see, because we use the variable fields or the dynamic fields, that each letter, although everything else will remain the same, for each letter, it will go through your CSV file and will go through row by row. Okay, and then it will say, this one is for Miss Dolfors, the second one is for Mr. Johnson, the third one is for Mrs. Patel, etc., etc. Okay. Okay. Everything else will remain the same. So let's say, yeah, we're super happy with this campaign. We want to approve it. Or this rate, sorry guys, you don't approve it. Your clients will approve it, okay? Let your client know there's a campaign waiting. So your client will log in, will look at the dashboard, and you will see that there's draft. Okay, it will be marked as draft. And then your client will review and approve. And at this rate, it's hands off for you now, because the next steps will be payment and selecting the campaign date. There is an option for the client to save the payment details. So if your client is comfortable and happy for you to, after his approval, to be the one to send out the campaigns, then feel free to do so, I guess. Okay, so that is how to prepare campaigns on Stannp. Right, so that is the final section. We covered lead generation strategies. We covered the data scraping sheets. We've covered preparing campaigns in Stannp and what you need. You need the Stannp CSV file. You need your client's letterhead. We just used a mock letterhead in this instance. And then you'll need the actual letter template. The letter templates will be in the library, okay? Instructions and templates. I repeat, you don't have access to this just yet, okay? Playlist quick guides. If you want another playlist for watching how to prepare campaigns on Stamps, you can go to this. For your aptitude test, you've got the unsold listings. Rewind if you need to look at the instructions again. Take a screenshot. Okay. These are the full instructions. If it helps you, by all means, click on the boxes when you've done that step. Okay. What I want to see is your data scraping sheet, your CSV mail merge file, and your PDF proof. You know, this one that we downloaded. Okay. Will you need to open an account with Stannp? Yes, you must. Otherwise, you won't be able to do this exercise. Will you need to pay for anything? Not unless you actually want to send out the letters, which I do not recommend that you do. Okay. Because you don't have access to the actual letter template, just type anything in the main body of the letter. Okay, you can type in lorem ipsum, you can type in whatever your name. Okay, download the proof. No need to approve the campaign. You can just delete it afterwards. Okay, make sure you upload it in week 4. We are week 4. All right, correct week topic, and then make sure you tick the complete column to record your attendance. That's it. So I'm gonna look at questions right now. And after the questions, if you guys can stay a little bit longer, I'm gonna give you access to the Excel sheet wherein you can do your kind of instant calculations for week 3, okay? Right, do we have any questions? I don't see any questions. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a bit. No questions, guys? You want me to go directly to the Excel file so that you can have access to that? Okay, I'll share my screen. Thank you, Neri. I'll share my screen again. Okay, so a lot of you may be having difficulty in carrying out the week 3 aptitude tests, okay, because there's lots of calculations and all that, and I completely understand. But I'm hoping that at least you've watched week 3 before you have access to what I'll call like a cheat, okay, like a cheating sheet. So here we are, business support. Bonus, okay, this isn't in your individual VA workspaces, it's only here in my screen. So here's the bit.ly link, TPVA calculator. If you type this in right now, what you will find is this. Okay, we will use that example, yung kanina, where was that? Okay, let's use this as an example. Okay, purchase price, securing it for 190,000. Okay, so this is how you use the due diligence calculator. This is shared for you to view, so you can't actually edit this sheet. You will need to make your own copy. If you have any difficulties making your own copy, just send me a message. But to do that, just click on File, Make a Copy, okay? And it will save it to your own Google Drive account. Right, so purchase price. Down here, 190,000. Okay, we are going to assume that the loan to value, who doesn't understand loan to value? Okay, loan to value, the mortgage company, the mortgage lender, typically banks, will not lend you 100% of 190,000. Okay, it will lend you a percentage of that. That's the loan to value. So I'm gonna say typically 75%. So that is the loan that the bank is willing to lend you against the value. So the value in this case is 190,000. The loan is only 75%. So we've got our first equation almost complete. Not yet. We have figure 1, which is the original loan amount. We've got figure 2, which is the refurb cost. Ask your client for this one. In this instance, someone's already done the calculations for us. Where was that? Refurb is approximately 60,000. So I'm gonna say 70,000, okay? Because I want to be more pessimistic. Okay, so we've got our equation 2 complete. What is equation 1? Okay, we need to do done up. We need to find out what the done up valuation is. Okay, either we check comparables. Please watch the replay of week 3 if you don't know how to check comparables, or it may already be provided by the client. In this instance, it's provided by this person. Okay, house value once work is done is 380 to 450. Let's average that to 425. All right, again, LTV, typically we'll go 75%. Okay, so what we've got here is that we have a total outlay of 117,000. What does the outlay involve? The outlay involves C17 plus C18. C17 is the deposit because the bank will only lend you 75%. So you need the 25%, right? So the deposit is 47,500 plus C18. C18 is the refurb cost. This is either provided by your client. It will be not either. It will be provided by your client, okay? And if there's no figure, just check with your client, what should I put in here? So this should really be provided by your client, all right? Okay, so blue means you enter the figure, yellow means the calculator will do it for you, okay? So ergo, if it's blue, that's the information you need to know. Okay, so in this case, we know what the purchase price is. We've for now assumed that the loan to value is typically 75% because we're just doing due diligence calculations here. We know what the refurb cost is. We know what the done up valuation is. And we know, again, typically 75% loan to value. So what the calculator has calculated for us for now is the new loan amount and the original total outlay. Okay. What do we have here? Automatically, new loan amount is 318,000. Let me explain this. So the new valuation is 425. The bank will not lend you 425,000. The bank will lend you 75% of that. Okay, so the new loan amount is 318,000. Compare that with the original outlay, how much you bought the property for, what you needed to spend. And so original outlay, total outlay is 117. Money left in the deal is a simple arithmetic calculation. The new loan amount less the original loan to pay off because you're remortgaging, and then your original outlay, okay? So money left in the deal is 58,750. Where does that go? It goes to your investor client's pocket. That's surplus, okay? If this value is negative, it means it's money still in the deal, right? So this is surplus if it's positive. Negative, it means it's still left in the deal. Right. Okay, so now that we have money left in the deal, we can calculate the, why is that negative? Okay. I can, okay, your apostrophe. Right, I'm glad I caught that one. It's not supposed to be negative. Okay, so if it's positive, it means that your client has recycled all the money. So in fact, the ROI, I know I'm going to confuse you here, guys. If your client has recycled all the money out, that is to say there's no money left in the deal, it means the ROI is infinite, okay? Your client is just receiving money over, none of his own money is left in that deal. If none of his own money is left in the deal, he doesn't need to calculate any return of investment because he's got nothing left there to invest in. Okay, he's pulled all the money out. So he's just earning income forever and ever and ever. So happy days. Unless at this rate, he remortgages again to pull more than 58,000. Okay. And I don't want to confuse you anymore at this rate. I just want to show you that there's that. Okay. But if this is positive, you don't need to calculate for ROI because that is infinite. Let's use a different example because we want. Okay, this is a good example because we know we're going to leave something in the deal, right? But he's already calculated everything for us. Okay, let's use a different example. Let's say that the valuation on this one is only 320,000. A new loan amount is 240,000. Okay, this is much better. All right, so we've got total outlays the same. Money left in the deal, okay, negative. So he's left 20,000 in the deal. So how is he gonna do this now? All right, okay, so that's why there was a negative there because we need to do some calculations. Okay. Rent. Do we have a rental figure for this? This property would rent out between 1,300 to 1,450. Okay, so how's about we use 1,400? Wait, that is not cash flow though. Was that cash flow? Okay, let's say the cash flow is going to be 800 pounds. Okay, 800 multiply. Okay, so remember that's cash flow, that's not the rent. Okay. Cash flow is 9,600 and money left in the deal we've calculated is 20,000, and therefore the ROI, because there's money left in the deal. If there's no money left in the deal, the ROI is automatically infinite. Excuse me. But money is left in the deal, therefore the ROI on this one is 48%. Okay. So this is the calculator. You guys have access to this. How do you have access to that? Just type this in, okay? Make sure that you make a copy of the file because you won't be able to edit the spreadsheet. Right, so that concludes today's session. Let us go back to the main room. Do we have any questions, guys, from the room? I know that sometimes you might need to watch this maybe 1 or 2 times to go back to, like, you know, a previous concept. But if there's nothing else, no other questions in the group, I'm gonna say thank you for attending or watching the replay, and I'm gonna see you next week. So there's just two more weeks. I'm gonna condense. I think I mentioned early at the start of this session, I'm gonna condense the next 4 weeks into 2 weeks, okay? Because I want to get through the recruitment drive much sooner. So guys, thank you so much for joining me here today, and I shall see you again next week, same time. Thank you and bye.